Okay guys, so this is my last video and a resume of my glucose monitoring experiment. So the patch is gone. I was actually wondering how to get it off and I just kind of ripped it off and it wasn't painful for your information. I just need to find a way to clean it up a little bit because it's kind of sticky and yeah. But coming to the information that's actually interesting for you. So I wanted to resume, and I've shared some shorter videos for you in the past days already on how this experiment went. So I really have to say that, so today I'm on day 21 of my cycle. So the past 2 days have been actually really kind of downhill in terms of insulin sensitivity. So basically I was eating the same things, high protein, high fat, low carb. I mean, I didn't actually want to have any dessert, so there was no chocolate or anything. I've given up the oat milk. So yeah, but basically I would see a difference. So let me maybe give you some numbers. So in these 2 weeks, actually, why I did this experiment was because I used to always have in my blood sugar in my blood test 5.7% HbA1c. So that's the average glucose over the past 3 months usually. So now, according to this device, in the past 2 weeks, my average HbA1c was 4.7, which is way better. So I'm quite pleased with that. And now we have to also see the difference here that, I mean, this thing is not like, or it's not there anymore, but this thing is not measuring your blood, but it's basically, it's a small needle that's measuring the interstitial fluid in your cells. So, but actually many people claim that it's more precise than what you would have in your blood readings. So, that's one thing. I guess you could say that this experiment taught me that actually my glucose in reality is much better than it is on my blood panels. The other thing is, of course, that I pretty much identified from day 2 that oats were the biggest trigger for my blood sugar, and I eliminated them. So that definitely improved on, because I used to have oat milk every day in the morning and after lunch in my coffee. Even though it was decaf, but still. So basically I eliminated that after the second day, and I saw that with what I usually eat, I would not have any blood sugar spikes. So my post-meal glucose readings in the first phase of my cycle were around between 105 and 113. So that's really good. That's really what you want to aim for. But now, basically the past 2 days, just eating the same things and not like having anything extra. Basically, I'm just getting 10 or more points per meal. So my average post-meal glucose in the past 2 days was never below 120. It was actually more 123, between 120 and 130. So that's not so good anymore. So 120 would probably be like, that's what most people, or also if you would go ask your doctor, they would consider that, I guess, normal. But that's really what is, if you would give stars for your meals, if you have a post meal blood sugar reading of 108, between 100 and 110, that would be a 10 stars. If you have a blood sugar reading of 120 post meal, that's like a 5-star. So you see, it's not so great. Because always remember, to keep this in perspective, is that also what I said in the beginning, I kind of actually had to change the settings in this, because I would get a high glucose alarm when I reach, I think it was 300. Hello. I mean, okay, these things are made for diabetics, but diabetics should also not have these kind of readings. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, basically what we're talking about here for a non-diabetic person trying to improve their glucose readings or their blood sugar balance, let's say, yeah, you would actually have to go much more sensitive than that. So so what else I noticed is that sleep impacts blood sugar. For sure. So if I had if I didn't sleep as well during the night, I would see that definitely my blood sugar would be more sensitive the next day. Also, what I noticed, exercise, and I've shared this before. Go for a 15-minute walk after your meal, and it will have a positive impact on your blood sugar. Well, I did try it. Actually, there was a day where I had pretty high readings even in the afternoon, like at the end of the afternoon, although it was like 3 hours at least after my lunch. I was at like 100, I think. I was like, whoa, that's pretty high. And I did go for actually like a 20, I think it was a 30-minute walk. Without going like, power walking or something like that. And that brought down my blood sugar to, I think it was 18 points. So I was actually at 89 or something like that after that. So that's pretty significant. So definitely exercise has an impact, and I also measured this. So I exercise usually every day. I mean, not basically as intensely every day. So there's some days where I work out longer and more intense, and then other days where it's just like a 30-minute thing. But yeah, I did notice the positive impact on moderate exercise, and then also the negative impact I had at once actually, and it's also pretty hot these days. So I had a 1-hour workout that was pretty intense, but I did have good energy, so there was no problem really with it. But I could feel that at the end I was getting like really tired and felt like a bit like rinsed out, and my blood sugar reading was actually going below, so I was a little bit going into hypoglycemic mode. Then also what I realized is, so I did not have many events where I did go in hypoglycemic mode, but that did happen actually on the first day during the day. And then I had like two or maybe 3 nights, I think it was 2 nights, where I actually went in below the normal blood sugar. So I think that's when you go even below, I think it's below 70 or yeah. And I do also have my Fitbit watch, so I'm kind of monitoring everything. Well, I can also look into my sleep, and it was actually very interesting to see that the blood sugar curve kind of correlated with when I woke up at night. So I mean, these were not like wake ups where I was staying up with insomnia. So basically it was kind of a, 5-minute being awake during the night. And sometimes you don't even remember, or that's when you might get up and pee. And that's always what I say to your clients. You probably don't actually have to pee, but it's your blood sugar waking you up at night. And I mean, that's exactly what it was. So I mean, I kind of know this, but anyways, I go up to go to the bathroom because it kind of, it's kind of when I get awake, I feel like I have to go, although I know I don't. So yeah, but basically, it's just been great actually to see all these things kind of confirmed that I've been advising my clients. And also what I think cannot be underestimated is seeing these things for yourself. So basically, kind of thinking, oh, maybe the oat milk is not so great. It may actually spike my blood sugar. And also I saw that, so I make my own seed bread, gluten-free. So, and then sometimes I use gluten-free oats. And I could see when I was eating that bread, I was getting more of a spike than when I was using quinoa instead of the oats. So for me, oats was one of the big triggers, and then chocolate was also one. But then I tried it on different days, where I had basically some chocolate with almonds. And that didn't seem to make an impact. So definitely it's also kind of depending on how you feel that day, and so it's not always the same. And that's also very interesting to see that, I mean, your body is just, you feel different every day. You might be a bit more tired, or you might actually feel more fit. And then basically, if you're eating the same foods, they will just impact you in a different way. So what else did I want to say? Exercise. One other interesting thing I noticed was tofu. So it's not something that I have regularly. I will usually eat it in my follicular phase, to help boost a little bit more my estrogen levels. But basically, I've been a vegetarian for a very long time, and I just love tofu. So I've been also trying to not eat too much soy, because at one time I was really eating a lot, especially when I was vegetarian. It was kind of like, okay, I mean, what other sources of protein are there if you don't want to go all these, transformed wheat protein shitty things. And then, of course, there's like vegan protein sources, or you could, protein powders. But basically, it's just confirming that these kind of foods, and I did already sense that myself, because when I was vegetarian at one point, I just thought, oh my gosh, I mean, I always feel so weak. And I noticed that I felt so much better when I was eating real food, meat, fish, whatever. And so basically, I did mention this in one of the other videos, is so there was a day where I had tofu for lunch, with actually mixed with sausage, so I would never just have that, because I just it doesn't fill me up. I mean, I just feel hungry after like 2 hours post meal. But even though I had probably like, I don't know, a good handful of tofu cubes and like half a pork sausage. And so one thing I noticed was, I kept on eating, like feeling more hungry and basically adding more to feel full. And I actually really had quite a high glucose spike after that meal. And I did have beets in my salad. So first I thought it might have been the beets. But then I had them again another day when I was eating meat. And I did not have the spike. So it's also about the balance of your meal. So for me, that definitely tells me that if I eat tofu, it's not heavy enough and not high enough in protein to actually balance out the sugar that I'm also having in my meal. So I guess those are all the kind of findings and aha moments I had during this time. And I hope you found this interesting, and it may inspire you to do kind of the same exercise, or at least to kind of look a little bit more critical at what you're eating and consider basically what you're putting into your body, especially when you're cycling. And I can definitely say that there's a big difference in your blood sugar sensitivity in follicular and luteal phase. So and I think in future I will actually use some berberine or chromium for to support my better blood sugar levels in the luteal phase. So I would not necessarily take it in the follicular phase, but I will do it in the luteal phase. And now I didn't have these supplements here at home. I used to have them, but I didn't have them anymore. So I wasn't able to include them in the exercise to actually see the proof. But that's definitely what I will do for the future. All right, so I will not make this any longer. It's long enough. I hope you enjoyed this short series of my experiment, and thanks for participating. And have a good day.